So, guys, is it really true? Is it really true that the Minister for Agriculture for Ghana, Dr. Eric Opoku, has indicated that he has put in place measures to ensure that the egg glut in Ghana does not affect indigenous poultry farmers like us? Welcome to my Ghanaian Dream channel on YouTube and on all platforms as I take you into detailed discussion on this subject, and then also happily announcing that my 1,000 capacity chicken house is now 99% complete. As you can see, I'll take you through the tour of it whilst we discuss this important topic among others. So I heard that the Minister for Agriculture really did mention that he's putting in place measures to ensure that the value chain of the poultry system is really enhanced, so that Ghana's 12% sufficiency in egg and chicken products is increased to 75%. However, some of the measures he said he would take include to give indigenous commercial poultry farmers like us some 50% discount or 50% subsidy on the day-old chicks, and then also to support us with some feeding, medication, and then expert support. So this is the only thing I have seen and read in the minister's Meet the Press series, and I don't know whether he said something else or in the policy document of the African Kitchen Kitty or the Feed Ghana program there's something else I didn't see. If this is the only one he mentioned, then I don't know how we can all benefit from this particular 50% discount on day-old chicks, and then also support for feeding the chicks, and then support for medication among others. So there are quite a number of concerns which came from the pilots. In the northern region where I am based, the minister said 50,000 commercial farmers also had some support during the pilot phase. So far, when I mentioned this in my previous updates, I've not really heard anyone say that they as commercial poultry farmers have received any form of support one way or the other. My channel may be small whilst growing, however, it is quite known enough for somebody who may have benefited from this particular government support to have mentioned it to me that they really had a support. So whereas in other parts of the region of the country, I may not know. However, for northern region, there is no one who I know who has received support from this particular pilot program of the African Kitchen Kitty program. What I know is that some households have received some guinea kids, some have received some some chicks. Actually, not day-old guinea kids, about some 1 month or so guinea kids, and some chicken who have already gone past the brooding stage. So I don't know anyone who has received this. So if that is so, is it the case that some really benefited from, commercial farmers really benefited from this African Kitchen Kitty subsidy on day-old chicks that some didn't even hear about it at all? And if that is the case, when it is now fully rolled out, how are we going to be guaranteed that all of us who are interested in getting the subsidy for day-old chicks, getting the subsidy for feed, and getting the subsidy for medication and then technical support will get it? So this is really interesting, and I would like those of you who benefited from this in the pilot stage to share your experiences with us, how you were able to get the support. How you know we are not 100% dependent on the government support, whether in day-old chicks or in feed or in whatever form. However, because it is a government program, we want to also get into it one way or the other, so that if there is any benefit from it, we will also get as citizens and the people of Ghana. So, conclude on this matter of the minister, if he is able to help commercial poultry farmers with 50% subsidy on day-old chicks and supporting with feed and supporting with medication and technical support, it would have reduced the cost of doing business in the poultry sector a lot, so that eventually the Chinese who have come into the system with a lot of money, their competitive advantage will be ironed out. It will be even out, so that the prices they sell, we can also sell at that price or even lower. We could sell even at a lower price. Should we get the support? Because beside the housing, that takes a lot of the cost in poultry production, the feed is really the real deal. The feed is really the real deal. And then for medication and then technical support, we welcome that one, but that is not really much of a bigger problem than the feed and then the cost of the chicks. For this matter, if the minister is able to help poultry farmers in Ghana to reduce the cost of feed and cost of day-old chicks, it will help a lot to ensuring that the Chinese will not have any advantage over our local poultry farmers like us. Perhaps, and as we read about, the Chinese get support from their government. So, if should we also get support, that will mean that the competitive advantage of the Chinese will be even out and all of us will come at a level playing field. However, I don't think that moving forward, that is after 2029, when this Akokon Kitty program is ended, I don't think moving forward, the risk supposed to continuously be the participation of outsiders in the country. Another angle of this is that many are saying that it is not only the Chinese presence in the poultry industry, but it is also about opening our borders for cheaper, very, very cheap products, poultry products to enter from Cote d'Ivoire and other places. So, if government wants to solve this issue holistically, that aspect needs to also be looked at so that imports of chicken and egg products do not come in just anyhow into the country. Of that. So, thank you and see you tomorrow.